Today is ninth edition of our BHAV Ganga, We Beings on Earth, the international edition. You are welcome. Sun is rising. In the guidance of sun and in the company of these trees and plants, we are expressing our sensibilities to make this earth a very, very happy and living, vibrant, healthy planet with the feeling that we, all the beings on earth, are the child of Mother Earth, children of Mother Earth. We are all connected with the Mother Earth. So we pay our respect to Mother Earth, and that is the beginning, that should be the beginning of our each day. Last time I was narrating few poems. Today I will explain a unique principle that is based on physics and vector analysis, and that is very fruitful in life. If you apply in life, you can change everything as required for the Mother Earth beautifully without any fight. You don't have to fight. You have to apply perpendicularity principle. I have named it perpendicularity principle. If some direction is there, some flow is there, some wrong direction is there of any bad thing, and you want to change it, don't apply the force in opposite direction. Apply force perpendicularly, because the system's force, the tradition's force, the force of governances, they will be very large, and your force, your effort will be very small. Many times it will annihilate you, the force of the current force and your force in proper direction, and the opposite force in wrong direction. But that opposite force will be too much, and the resultant force in the same direction with a slightly less quantity, because your force, the only by the quantum of your force, the existing force will reduce, but the resultant will be in the same direction. It will not annihilate, it will annihilate you. But apply a perpendicular force, and that is the beauty of it. And if you apply the perpendicular force sustained in a sustained way for a prolonged time, a time will come when the existing force will vanish, will disappear, or will be, and the force you wanted to create, that will appear. It will be through simple vector addition. So, in my book, Win, Win, Win the Orphan Way, I have described this principle, and I have applied this principle in my life, and it has been 100% successful. That is why this principle should be known and should be applied by all the beings on earth for the positive direction, to give positive direction in the systems in the governances, in the traditions, in cultures, everywhere, and in our relationships with each other and also with Mother Earth. You know, the hero of my novel in this Win the Orphan Way is Sambhav. Sambhav, with his experience in life and his introspection, has developed the perpendicularity principle. This principle is the result of his scientific knowledge and the knowledge of social dynamics. Sambhav, with his experience in life and introspection, has developed the perpendicularity principle. This principle is the result of his scientific knowledge and knowledge of social dynamics. It is a well-known fact in science that when one force is in some direction and a small opposite force is applied, the opposite force get annihilated and the resultant force is in the direction of the original force, although amplitude or quantum of the force may be slightly reduced. That is simple vector addition when you study vector analysis. There are two types of quantities in this world or in this universe: scalar and vector. Scalar, where only quantity is there, direction is not there, and any quantity which has quantity as well as direction, then it is vector. So there are two types of quantities: scalar quantities and vector quantities. Money, it is a scalar quantity. Length, it is a scalar quantity, how much length you travel. But speed, it is a vector quantity. It has a direction and it has a velocity, how much you are traveling in how much time. The velocity is a scalar quantity, but speed is a vector quantity, in which direction you are going. Similarly, electrical forces, electromagnetic forces, all these, they have scalar as well as vector quantities. But money, I mentioned that money is a scalar quantity, but also it is an inherent vector in it. Good money and bad money, positive money and negative money. And they do not add together. Often, bad money subtracts from good money. You must have seen in life. And bad money never gives you pleasure or enrich you. Ultimately, it gives you pain. So, if you think in a broader way, many things whom we consider scalar, they have some vector element in them, some direction element in them, some adjectives in them. These adjectives are also give some vector quality to them. So, if the system, governing system or cultural system is untrue, is based on false and non-sensitivity, it is giving pain to the public and you want to change it, that if you apply a direct opposite force, it may annihilate you. But if you apply a perpendicular force, then the resultant of two forces, one horizontal and one vertical, and horizontal force is existence force, very big, and vertical force, your effort, very small. But the resultant of two vector forces will not be in that direction. The resultant will be vector addition. You make a rectangular with the base of that big force and height of your small, and the resultant will be the line crossing the opposite points. And that will be the resultant direction of that situation. It has changed its direction slightly in the direction you wanted, slightly, very slightly. Although the amplitude will be your amplitude and the earlier amplitude of earlier quantity, they will add vectorially and it will be almost same, but the direction has slightly changed. Now continuously keep on doing this, applying perpendicular force continuously, and slightly the things will change, and a time will come then the entire force will be perpendicular. And you keep on trying, even then you keep on applying the perpendicular force. A time will come that it will be in the direction, the things will be in the direction in which it is desirable for the Mother Earth or for the benefit of all. So this perpendicular, and you will never annihilate, your system will never annihilate, you will never unsuccessful. You will be 100, the success guarantee is 100%. But a lot of effort, continuous effort, and lot of patience is required. Where you want quick results, it is not for that. Somehow, the example of Gandhi and our freedom fighters who sacrificed their life, Shaheeds, are examples. The Shaheeds have sacrificed their life. They have annihilated themselves, but they have slightly reduced the quantum of the force of that empire. Slightly reduced, certainly. But Gandhi and people like that, Lincoln, through their, or Buddha, through their continuous efforts, perpendicular, they were not against those. They have love for those also. But they applied perpendicular force of thoughts. And throughout their life, they made that effort. And the result is they changed the system for the betterment of the country, for the betterment of the society, for the betterment of the world. So this Bhavanga is also an effort with perpendicularity principle. We are not against anyone, but we are applying forces for the benefit of the Mother Earth, of our nature, of our survival, for this flora and fauna, through love, through sensitivity, to take care. If somebody hates me, we don't have to hate him. Through love also, through perpendicular principle also, instead of being anti, applying a perpendicular principle of love, we can change. So, when one force is in some direction and a very small opposite force is applied, the opposite force gets annihilated and the resultant force is in the direction of the original force, although the amplitude quantum of the force may slightly be reduced. This is equally true in social dynamics also. If a person applies any force against the present strong social force, be it sociological, political, religious, or economic, his force will be annihilated, and nothing will be left with to change the direction of the existing force anymore. Once he is annihilated or his force is annihilated, he don't have anything to change. But if a force is applied perpendicularly to a strong force in any direction, then the resultant force will be slightly tilted from the original direction in the direction of the force which he is applying, tilted towards that direction. And the resultant force will be a vector addition of existing force and the applied force. In fact, your force of your opponent slightly helps you in bringing the situation to the desired direction. This is the beauty of it. Your force and the existing wrong force, there will be purification in wrong force and it will come to your desired direction. It will start coming to your desired direction. This is wonderful principle and wonderful phenomena, which is true. Then the resultant force will be slightly tilted from the original direction in the direction of the force applied, and the resultant force will be vector addition of existing force and applied force. Amplitude of the resultant force will almost be similar to the original force, although the direction is slightly moved towards the applied force. Thus, the applied force has not annihilated this time and it has made its presence felt. If the applied force is applied again and again and again with perseverance, a time may come when the existing force can be taken to the desired direction. That is the miracle of the perpendicularity principle. That is the magic and miracle of the perpendicularity principle. In life also, most of the important changes and new creations which we see are occurring through this perpendicularity principle. Plants grow perpendicular to the earth. Even semen which comes out from the body for creation of new body comes out perpendicularity from the body. Perpendicularity principle is everywhere for growth, for betterment, for happiness, for life, for benefit of all. Somehow applied this perpendicularity principle in many movements which he has started. He seldom took any problem just head on, but mostly perpendicularly. He had analyzed the problem and with patience had taken action at a later appropriate time. He never directly criticized any person or any organization. He has expressed his own mission and vision and his own alternative concepts that helped him slowly in changing the existing situations, forces and dynamic equilibrium in his favor and in favor of the entire Mother Earth and the nature and all the flora, fauna and all the beings on earth. And in favor of his mission, vision and dreams, and also in favor of the nation and the entire earth. So, this is food for thought for you also, and A whole book can be written on the experiments which I have made on this, which I have done on this. And we will keep on discussing in future also. But I will welcome your views and your, if you experiment this, then your experiences. Now I will read some poems for you, which you will enjoy. I am fully confident. Last time I narrated the poem Bonsai of God. Now fulfillment of sadhana. Fulfillment of sadhana. When we try to get a fragment of God, when we try to get or we wish to get a fragment of God, we need to do sadhana, tapasya, meditation, so many activities. But if we want to get God whole, complete, unfragmented, the entire God, we need not have to do any sadhana. As that is something we already have. As that is something we already have. Just as when we try to acquire a certain portion of earth, certain part of earth, we would have to do sadhana, registration and purchasing and so many things. But if we try to get the entire earth, if we want to get the entire Mother Earth, we already have it. We don't have to do any sadhana. The way we are and wherever we are, we already have Mother Earth, full Mother Earth. So full God we always have. A portion of God, a fragment of God, for getting that we have to do sadhana. That is the beauty of life. If you understand this, then the God is around you, whatever, wherever, whenever. So why don't we believe? Why don't we believe? Why don't we believe that poetry can be water? Poetry or sensitivity or expression or literature, they can be water that pours down as rain on beings without discrimination. That pours down as rain on beings without discrimination. Poetry can be unbiased wind that can give you a peaceful sleep, wake you up, storm and thrill you up. Poetry can be the unbiased wind that can give you a peaceful sleep, wake you up, storm and thrill you up. The poetry can sometimes be a fire. The poetry can sometimes can be a fire that can instill energy or enkindle your spirit or keep you warm without any discrimination. The poetry can be unending sky that can let you fly under it. Its blue canvas can be a sheltering dome without any discrimination. Without discrimination. Why don't you believe that poetry can be it all together? Why don't we believe that poetry can be it all together? It can bloom buds in the barren rocks. It can bloom buds in the barren rocks, converting it into soil fertile, converting it into soil fertile without discrimination. And the rocks, they become soil with all the elements of this wind and sunshine and heat. Through that, their outer layer gets slight porous. They break slightly, and then humus is formed, and that converts it into soil, and there the so many vegetation start growing. Eternal song, eternal song, eternal song. We once sung the songs of our tribe, of our village. With the times, widened the circumference of our songs. With the times, widened the circumference of our songs. The songs were sung of the kingdoms, of the states, of the nations, songs of democracy. But now, our songs want to surpass these boundaries. But now, songs want to surpass these boundaries. They want us to sing songs. They want us to sing songs of the world, of the Mother Earth. If our songs will discover life beyond our planet, Mother Earth, if songs will discover life beyond our planet, they will then ask us to sing the songs. Songs will ask us to sing the songs of the galaxy, songs of the universe. And those songs of ours, will be uniting, binding. We have had enough of dividing songs, fragmenting songs. We have had enough of dividing songs, fragmenting songs. And those songs will be songs of Mother Earth. This Bhavganga is that song. This Bhavganga is the songs of the universe. That is why I say that this Bhavganga is the confluence of Akash Ganga and the Ganga on earth. There is a galaxy, Akash Ganga, and the Ganga on Mother Earth. It is the confluence of these two Gangas. And on this confluence came the idea. There was a book by Huntington, Clashes of Civilization. And it is mainly based on two religions, Christianity and Islam. Okay, they will clash. In future, they will clash more vigorously. I have written in my diaries in class 10th that सभ्यताएं लड़ती नहीं हैं, सभ्यताएं संगम करती हैं. Because at that time I was writing diary in Hindi. That means the civilizations never fight, never clash. They always confluence like two rivers, Ganga and Yamuna. Two rivers when they meet, they make confluence, they make sangam. But every religion has two parts, civilized and uncivilized. The pure form of religion from the originator, his dreams, is always pious and civilized. But the followers who want to take advantage of that, they start business of that. And then a fanatic, business-oriented part develops, that is uncivilized. They have nothing to do the philosophy of the originator or original ideas of those religions. So where there is a clash of interest, there will be fight. So in uncivilized parts of two religions, there is always clash, and they fight with each other. But the civilized part never fight with each other. They confluence. They make sangam. a new idea emerges, and or still better, synthesis, thesis, synthesis, antithesis. The synthesis of Christianity and Islam gave scientific temper, and the synthesis of Islam and Hinduism gave Sufism, Advaitvad. It reinforced. In Hinduism, it was there earlier also. But when the confluence of two civilizations, Islam and Hinduism, took place, that became reinforced. And Sufism also based on scientific temper, truth. And in my book, this book also, I have narrated this. Such books are written with such interest. It is written and made best book, bestseller, so that the public sentiment becomes in that way. They start in that direction, and the atmosphere of fight is created. For that, weapons are required. For sale of weapons also, many a times, these big dealers force or get these books written so that their arms sale is always bigger and improves on the world market. When this book was written, Classes of Civilization, I have written in this book, an antithesis of the book has happened in the world. The children of these two civilizations, from or between whom the Huntington has predicted clash, that with the love of the two civilizations, a child is born, and he became the most powerful person on earth. President Obama, child of two civilizations, Christianity and Islam, father from one religion, mother from one religion, and with the love of those two, he was born, and he became the president of USA. Is it clashes of civilization or example of love of civilization? So the universe is self-governing, self-controlling, self-sustaining. But these uncivilized parts, they will always try to disturb for their profit. The newborn baby. 5-6 more poems. The newborn baby. The newborn baby was God. Every newborn baby, he is God or she is God. Traditions, surroundings, and environment made him human, person, man or woman. Traditions, surroundings, and environment made him or her man or women. The newborn had the unending, limitless. The newborn had the unending or limitless sensitivity, emotions, bondage humility, and connectivity with the entire universe. Relationship, if he is connected with the entire universe. The surroundings and environment have carved out few relationships and names. The surrounding and, and environment have carved out few relationships or taken out some relationships from their limitless connectivity and emotions. He had an ocean of sounds. Every child, when he is born, after 1 year or 1.5 years, when he becomes one, he utters so many sounds continuously, if you just observe. And those sounds were so much and so varied that all the religions on this world, all the languages of the world can be spoken from them, with them. That was the ocean of all the sounds of all the languages. But the environment and surroundings carved out or taken out few words and a language out of it. Whatever, when the child is uttering everything, when the parents or persons around him or her says some, repeats something, then he also keeps on repeating them, and that way he learns a few words and a language. Otherwise, he has potentiality to speak all the languages of the on earth. He has potentiality to connect, to feel sensitivity with all the persons or beings on earth. It is only he is so much engrossed in that environment around him that he forgets everything. His all connectivity. So the newborn baby was God. Always. He is God. How many prayers? When arrogance rules the places, how much sensitivity do we need to diminish it? When arrogance rules the places, how much sensitivity do we need to diminish it? When adharma wins everywhere, how much faith do we need to make one believe that dharma will win? And dharma, not traditional religions. Dharma, the actual and original, the connectivity of the entire universe, feeling connectivity and sensitivity with the entire universe, entire existence. That is the dharma. And when you will feel sensitive with the entire existence is a living, vibrant system, living, vibrant person, and we are all its body parts. So when we will feel connected with that, as if this hand feels connected with this body, then we don't have to tell it or teach it what it has to do or what is its dharma. It knows, it will automatically do, instinctively do. So that is dharma. When arrogance rules the places, how much sensitivity do we need to diminish it? When adharma wins everywhere, how much faith do we need to make one believe that dharma will win? When money overpowers everything, how big sacrifices do we need to believe that money can be defeated? When violence is spread everywhere, how many Buddhas do we need to change the hearts of the Angulimals? You must have heard the story of Angulimal and Buddha. When almost everyone is moving away from the path of truth, how much patience is needed to convince oneself that the truth wins, and that will happen with perpendicularity principle. When it's dark everywhere, how much penance, tapasya, is needed to lighten up a ray of light? How, when despair spreads everywhere, how many prayers are needed to conceive and prevail hope, hope. And speak up, Dharmraj. Bolo Dharmraj. Speak up, Dharmraj. There are 6 segments in that. 4 of it I will read just now. Dharmraj eh, is a, we call Yudhishthir Dharmraj. Yudhishthir was famous that he always tells the truth. He is the eldest son among Pandavas, and the fight of Mahabharat took place between Pandavas and Kauravas. The head of Pandavas was Dharmraj Yudhishthir, and once all the 5 Pandavas got thirsty, they went. They were very thirsty, so Yudhishthir sent his youngest brother for bringing water. Uh, in the pond, and Yaksh is some devata type or some supernatural personality or something in the story. Yaksh was there. He said, "Yeah, I will allow you to take the water only if you will answer my questions correctly." So he could not answer, and therefore he became unconscious or he became dead, whatever. Other 3 brothers also, Yudhishthir sent, Arjun, Bhim, Nakul, Sahadev, all 4 went. None can answer the questions from Yaksh, and ultimately all have the same fate. Ultimately, Yudhishthir went, and he successfully answered all the questions of Yaksh, and all the 4 brothers also became conscious and became live, and they got water and blessings from the Yaksh. That is the story. So here, few questions have been asked from Yudhishthir or Dharmraj, that you could answer all those questions of Yaksh, but we are also Yakshas. We have many questions among us, whether you will answer that. So that is the speak up Dharmraj, bolo Dharmraj. Do not be satisfied just by answering one of Yaksha's question. One Yaksha has asked some question and you have answered. Don't be satisfied with that. Come to us. All of us are Yakshas deep inside. Inside us, there is a Yaksha is there. All of us are Yakshas deep inside. We all have questions echoing in our minds. We all have questions echoing in our minds, whose answer is not in books, whose answers are not in books. It is not on holy texts. It is not known to the society. It is not known to the system. And it is not with us. We all have questions echoing in our minds, whose answer is not in books, is not in holy texts, is not known to the society, is not known to the system, and it is not with us. Can you answer these questions? Can you answer these questions? If you can, then when will you answer? If you can, when will you answer? If you can, then when you will answer? Speak up, Dharmraj, speak up. Speak up, Dharmraj, speak up. Second, if the entire system goes through a turmoil, if the entire system goes through a turmoil, up goes down and down shuffles up. All the values are changing. All the values are changing. Then where should the common man stand? Then where should the common man stand? Up, down, or somewhere in between? Search for which values? Search for which values? Speak up, Dharmraj, speak up. Next, I have done penance in such a way. I have done penance or tapasya in such a way. Even Indra could not know it. It is said that whenever one does tapasya, Indrasan starts trembling, and Indra comes to stop the tapasya. So I have done penance in such a way that Indra could not know it. I acquired knowledge in such a way even Dronacharya could not get a hint. Because it is said that Dronacharya, when Eklavya was doing his practice of shooting through bow, and he got a big dhanurdhar, then Dronacharya comes and takes up his Guru Dakshina in the form of his Eklav's thumb. So I acquired knowledge in such a way, even Dronacharya could not get a hint. I did yajna in such a way that even Rakshasas, devils, didn't get to know. It is also said that when somebody does yajna, then Rakshasas come and destroy it. But I was doing yajna in such a way that even Rakshasas, devils, didn't get to know. I lived through the battlefield in such a way that even I didn't get a premonition of victory. Is this my success or failure? Is this my success or failure? Speak up, Dharmraj, speak up. And last, when it becomes impossible to survive, when it becomes impossible to survive without breaking rules and laws, there are so many webs of rules and laws in all the countries, and among them, so many rules have made in a different situation that now the situation has changed. Even the rules and laws are going like that. When it becomes impossible to survive without breaking rules and laws, in India at least, there are so many rules and laws and even contradicting them that you cannot live for an hour without breaking some rules, some here or there. When it becomes impossible to survive without breaking rules and laws, then how much violation of these regulations a common man, then how much violations of these regulations a common man, and not in an incarnation or not in God or incarnation, but common man, how much violation of these regulations a common man should do so as to remain alive, so as to remain alive and still preserve the dreams of a beautiful society and Mother Earth, and so as to remain alive and still preserve the dreams of a beautiful society, nature, and Mother Earth. Speak up, Dharmraj, speak up. Speak up, Dharmraj, speak up. So this was Bhavganga today, and next Thursday we will meet again for international edition of Bhavganga in English, We the Beings on Earth. Till then, good night, good day, and good week. Thank you.